guys are. I had to, I finally got my Facebook to come on. There you guys are. Hey, sorry guys, I don't know what was going on, but my internet shut you down. So if you're just popping back on here, we're making homemade fresh ricotta. And you need a gallon of milk, a quart of whipping cream, a tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. And we've been at this now for probably 30 minutes. And we are starting to get a soft boil. We're starting to get a soft boil. Now, if you guys see this sitting here, I have this pulled aside because I am going to put some of the whey into the bottle, because when you make homemade fresh ricotta, sometimes it'll dry out more than what you need, and you can put whey in here and then add it back in to your ricotta to loosen it up a little bit. So just keep a little bit of your whey. Don't throw away all your whey. And I don't know if you were on here earlier, but back in the old days, like back in the famine days, it's a long time ago, they didn't throw anything away. So they would have their pot of whey, and they would take old stale bread, and they would take the bread and they would put it into the whey and eat it like a soup. So I mean, if you want to put it on your phone, bud, and watch the camera, so you don't have to stand there. It's up to you. So I know Kay and Karen were on my live earlier. I'm sorry, guys. It just shut down on me. And if you guys see me looking that way, I'm waiting on the FedEx driver. I saw him go by, but he didn't stop. So we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I know I keep saying that, but it takes a while to make ricotta. It's not like one of those recipes where you can just throw it in there and be done. So while we're waiting on this, hi Tammy. We're making homemade fresh ricotta. What's everybody making for dinner tonight? Anybody got dinner ideas? I'm thinking chili beans. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good too. We had that, well, we had chili dogs a couple nights ago. I guess it was about a week ago. My husband was saying, how about some, well, my grandgirls won't eat it, but we'll eat it. some whiskey soup. If anybody's from Pennsylvania, will know what that is. It's like chili, not as much broth. Oh, okay. Okay, we're starting to get little bubbles around the top. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we're starting to get the bubbles. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we're starting to get some bubbles. So that's what we want. Definitely want that. And I need to get a measuring cup for my vinegar. Gosh, I forgot that. I'm about ready to set the timer for 5 minutes. I'm thinking. I think you can see my fridge back there. Well, you can on Facebook. I don't know if you can. Well, there, you can tell I got grandkids. Look at all that stuff in my fridge. What are you making for dinner tonight? So I'm going to have this ricotta, and thinking about making some homemade noodles and making some manicotti. I'm thinking that's what I might do. Because I can make the noodles, roll them up, fill them, and then put them in the oven. And then tomorrow, I've done it on live before. I've done my English muffins, but tomorrow, instead of using the cottage cheese, I'm going to use my homemade ricotta. Yes, I do. There's a recipe out there. It's almost like manicotti, but they call it cantacotti. And the only difference is that you boil chicken, and it depends on if you want white meat or dark meat, your preference. So if you do chicken breasts, is what I would probably do. You would do 2 chicken breasts, and boil it and season it, and then shred it, and then you add it to your ricotta and all your seasonings and your egg, and and you make it like a manicotti, but it's got chicken in it, so they call it cantacotti. I don't know if my grandgirls would eat that. They might. They might. Okay, I think we are at a soft boil. I'm looking. We got bubbles. We got bubbles. Yeah, and then you can just put whatever seasonings you want into it. Is that it, bud? Yep, there he goes. Well, I guess that ain't that FedEx guy, unless he turns around and comes back. He did. Yep. I said unless he goes around the circle and comes back. I'm trying to decide if I want to start my timer. I got to go, but I follow you. I'll see you soon. Okay, come back on and jump back on. I'll post a video, and then you can jump back on and see how the way and the curds look. I'll post the video onto TikTok so you guys can see it. I know this is a long video. Karen, are you back on there, hun? If you are, I don't see you. TJ Jax, if you're on there, can you check my Facebook and see if it's working? Hi, Brenda Hugh. We're dancing with milk, guys. We're dancing with milk. We're dancing with milk just to get some goodness. Oh, my shirt's like flipped up. Look like a train wreck. We're dancing with milk. Milk and heavy whipping cream and sugar and salt. That's what we're doing, y'all. We're dancing with milk. We're trying to get to a soft boil so we can make some homemade ricotta. I know some people stop their videos and then come back on. I don't like to do that. I like to just keep going, and then if my Facebook works, I'll come back on and post the video also so people can see it. So if there's anybody out there in Facebook land, give me a like, a follow, a share. I had a bunch of people on there and I had to go out because my internet did something. I don't know what it's doing. Hi, Tammy. Okay, guys, I'm going to set my timer. I feel that we need to set the timer. Alexa, set the timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. It's starting now.
Yes, starting now. So, I can feel the difference on the bottom of my pan right now. So now is the time where you really need to keep stirring. I can feel the difference, and we want to keep stirring. I'm using a flat, oh, my pan's going. I'm using a flat wooden spoon so it goes all the way up against the bottom of the pan, and I'm going to try to pour a half a cup of white vinegar. Oh, perfect. Perfect, I did it. Okay, let me see if I got a half a cup. Yep, we're perfect. We are perfect. So now is the time where you really want to keep stirring, guys. I'm not going to lift this one up, but I can show you what I'm using. I'm using a flat wooden spoon so it gets onto the bottom of the pan. You do not want your milk or your heavy whipping cream to scorch. You do not want to do that. So, or you'll have funky brown, funky stuff in your ricotta. You don't want to do that. Okay, the timer is set. If you're just jumping on here, we're making homemade ricotta. It's 1 gallon of milk, a quart of heavy whipping cream, a tablespoon of salt, and a tablespoon of sugar. My salt was level, my sugar was not level, which is fine. And we got it to a soft boil. I set my timer for 5 minutes. And when the timer goes off, I'm going to add a half a cup of white vinegar. And then we're going to do a figure 8. And I'm going to pull the spoon out of the mixture and lay it on top. And I'm going to turn my timer, or not my timer, but my stove down onto warm. And we are just going to let this sit for 10 minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to start taking the curds out of the way. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but I have my colander with a bowl and some cheesecloth on it already. You really don't need to get that ready until you take this out and put your vinegar in, but I tried to have everything ready, except for I didn't pour my vinegar. So I had to do that. Trying to make sure I got a half a cup. Okay, we're good. I needed a drop more. You gotta make sure it's right. I've been stirring this a long time. We don't want to mess it up, right, guys? Now, some people continue to stir. I don't know that you want to keep stirring it. But some people do. Some people just keep stirring it. But you can definitely feel the difference in the milk and the whipping cream. From when it started till now, it feels heavier. So, Alexa, stop. Okay. So she's done. Now, I don't want to have to second guess myself. I'm going to let this go 1 more minute. Then I'm going to do my vinegar. Hi, Jennifer. We are making homemade fresh ricotta. I'm getting ready to pour my vinegar in. And then I'm going to set the timer again. I keep looking over to see if I hear that FedEx driver. I hate waiting on things. I'm not a patient person. Is anybody in here patient? I'm not. I mean, this takes patience. This I'm okay with. But if you're waiting on something, I'm not patient for that. I think I'm a little OCD. Oh, I know I'm OCD. Not a little. I am. Okay, guys. We're pouring it in. Okay, so here we go. In goes the vinegar. That all in there. You can already start to see the ways. We're just going to do a figure 8. And then I'm going to put that on low. And Alexa, set the timer for 10 minutes. Okay.
10 minutes, starting now.
I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see it starting? Oh. Okay. Can you guys see it? It's starting to do what it's supposed to do. So the ways are, the curds are coming up and the ways will go to the bottom. So we're just going to leave that there. Just going to leave that there. And we're just going to let that sit for 10 minutes. Then we're going to start pulling out. We'll start pulling out the curds. And I don't know, can you guys see this? This is what I have all set up. So we'll start pulling out the curds, and then we're going to let the curds sit in here for 15 minutes. Then we're going to bring that cheesecloth up, going to squeeze it, and then we're done. So, yes, the curds are coming. See the curds? They're starting to come. So, yes. So, somebody asked me how much it'll weigh, or how many pounds I'll get. I'm thinking 3 pounds out of this. I'm thinking. So that pan's very hot. Yeah, maybe 3 pounds. We'll see. I want to stir it again. I want to put it in there and make sure it's not sticking on the bottom. I'm going to. I'm going in, guys. Yeah, we're okay. We're okay. I don't want it to stick on the bottom. I don't want it to stick on the bottom. Yeah. I don't want it to stick on the bottom. So this is where you just gotta wait. You just gotta wait. You just gotta wait. It looks good. It really looks good, y'all. So I can't, let me see if I can show you. Can you see that? So it's starting to separate. Can you see that? That's what you want, and it'll be a different color once it separates all the way. So that's where we're at. So the color, it'll be like a yellowish color, and that'll be your way. So if you're just jumping on here, we're making homemade ricotta, guys. You need a gallon of milk, a quart of heavy whipping cream. You got to bring that to a soft boil and let it go for 5 minutes. You need it, oh, and also you need a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of sugar. Bring it to a soft boil, let it boil for 5 minutes. Then you put a half a cup of vinegar in there and do like a figure 8. And you let it sit for 10 minutes. So we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. And then I'm going to start pulling those curds out. Hi, Vicky. So yes, we'll start pulling those curds out. I'm trying to decide what I want to pull them out with. this, I might get drippage, but that's okay because it's going to drip into the pan. Now, on here before I made homemade butter. If you have one of these, a quart of whipping cream, you can make homemade butter out of it. So you just add salt to it and this, and you whip it up in your KitchenAid, and you get about a pound of butter. But I'm gonna move this off my. I'm gonna move this, guys. You get about a pound of butter, but there. What's left in the bowl, you can put a strainer back into here, and you have buttermilk. Then you get buttermilk. So if you're making homemade butter, everything that you use, you can pull back out of that bowl, and you end up with buttermilk, which you can use buttermilk to make biscuits. You can use buttermilk on a lot of stuff. So we'll have to do that on here. It's real quick. It's not this process. I know I've been on here for an hour already because it's telling me I've been on here for an hour. But I'll have to do that on here and show you guys. And then when you pull your milk, or you pull your butter out, you put it into ice water, and you squeeze it and squeeze it and squeeze it. Hi, Anna Marie. And you just keep squeezing it and squeezing it in the ice bath until you get all the buttermilk out of it. And then you wrap it up in parchment paper. And then your milk, you put a colander on top of a strainer on top of a colander, and you put it back into your thing, and you have almost a whole quart of buttermilk. So, you can't go wrong with that, right? Let me see here. Now, if I was doing this over, let it sit. I know. If I was doing this over the sink, this KitchenAid, colander has a really good mesh screen, so you don't even really need, the cheesecloth. But I'm going to do it here on the counter, so we're going to use the cheesecloth. I'm ready when she's ready. Yeah, you can let it sit for more than 10 minutes, but I want to at least take a little bit out so I can show everybody, and then I'll let it sit for like 20 minutes maybe, and then I'll let it sit for another 10 minutes, but I'm going to pull just a little bit out, Rita, and so everybody can see, so they can see the waves better. Not the waves, the curves. But it's definitely starting to separate. We got some chunky chunks. going on. And I want to taste it. Gotta have a little taste. Just gotta have a little bitty taste. We're down to 54 seconds. That 10 minutes are quick. So I will, after I show you guys a little bit of this, I'm going to taste it, and then I'm going to close off my live, and then I'm going to let this sit for another 10 minutes, and then I will take pictures and post the recipe, and somebody on here asked me how many pounds, or how much I would get. I said I think 3 pounds. I'm gonna weigh it, and that way I can tell you guys for sure. So I'm just gonna put this in and get a little bit and squeeze it, and then we're gonna taste it. It'll be warm, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's always fine. Alexa, stop. Okay, guys, here we go. Can you see the whey coming out? I'm just gonna take my spoon and I'm not gonna put this in my cheesecloth. Okay. Oh gosh, look at those curds. Can you guys see it? You see that? Look. Okay. So let's scrape all this out. I want to get every bit of it. Put some in here. I like this stuff. This stuff here is good by Pit Boss. Put a little bit of that on there. Oops. And a little bit of Old Bay, guys. A little bit of Old Bay. And then we're going for the taste. We're going for the taste. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Can you see it? Okay, here we go. It is freaking delicious. Who needs bread, right? You just eat it like this. I mean, it's delicious, y'all. I know it's time consuming, but you gotta make it. You gotta try it at least once. If you don't want to make a great big thing, make a half a thing. Make half of it. Just cut the recipe in half. So instead of doing a whole gallon, do a half a gallon, and do a pint instead of a quart. 2 teaspoons of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar. Bring it to a soft boil, let it boil for 5 minutes. Take it off. Add a half a cup of, well no, you won't need a half a cup, you only need a fourth of a cup of vinegar. Pour that fourth of a cup of vinegar in there, do a figure 8. After you do the figure 8, keep that spoon out of there, don't do what I did. And then put it back on for 10 minutes. You can leave it sit for 20 or 30 if you want, or until it cools, and strain it. And you'll have the best ricotta cheese that you'll ever have. Enjoy, guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Bye, y'all.